Hello. Okay, we're back in our molecular core lab. We have PCR reactions running that are based on the test kit reaction components, primer probe sets for COVID-19 or the coronavirus that everybody's hearing about, the real-time RTPCR kit. And we're doing that right now. And we have, with my tech ed, made some simulated patient samples, one which would have sequence that these reagents would detect from the coronavirus and some that do not. And the PCRs have been set up. They're running in the real-time PCR machine that we set up earlier. And as these samples run, as you remember from an earlier video that I made on how the process works, we monitor the fluorescence in real time of the PCR products. And basically, negative samples will just stay flat as we go through each cycle number, and real reactive samples will actually make product. And you can see some of these have indeed made product. Before we get to cycle 40, which is about where my little finger is, that noise is the machine scanning again, plotting another point of fluorescence, and you can see the curves come up. They will level off and plateau usually. But this kit basically works and does seem to indeed detect. Now, some of these PCRs are for the human RNase-P control gene, which would just be a test to make sure the human tissue or blood sample was extracted properly for RNA. And there would be some human RNA in there, of course, from a human sample, but that would tell you that at least the RNA extraction worked. So if that curve goes up for that reaction, but it's flat and negative for the coronavirus, that would say that patient does not have the coronavirus. But if they also get a curve going up for the coronavirus PCR, then they would be positive for that. Just looking at the blur of lines here as we collect the raw data, I don't know which one's which right now in the plate layout, but we'll see that after we handle all the data. So indeed, the Corona RT-PCR test kit that you hear about, the one that's also put together by the Center for Diseases Control, and these primers are used and made by different labs all around the world. They basically work to detect viruses from very, very tiny samples by detecting the genome of the virus itself, some of its sequence. And this is used to test for all kinds of viruses in animals and humans all the time. And we also use it just to check the expression of normal human genes as well.